Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to another Casas and Cashflow. And today I want to welcome Vianca. I want to welcome you, wherever you're in the world. So, Vianca, welcome back to Casas and Cashflow.
Thank you, Miss Pino. Hello, hello, beautiful people, beautiful friends, beautiful souls out there. I hope you're having a wonderful time. And today we're going to have an absolute delicious real estate show.
Yes, right. And some people have been asking us private questions due to the fact that we have shared previous episodes, which actually leads me into, if you haven't seen the shows before, the previous episodes, just go to YouTube, go into your home building coach, and you will find our episodes. As a matter of fact, in English and also in Spanish for Tu Casa en Lehigh. And today, as a result of some of the questions that we've been asked, today the topic is basically this one. Your first real estate deal. Where do you actually start? The answer is very simple: by taking action. Very simple. Now, do you remember our first real estate deal?
Well, Miss
That we, and by the way, let me clarify: not to live in, not to be a consumer, not to be a homeowner, but as an investment. Do you remember our first together real estate deal?
I do. I remember our first deal together, and I remember how much you fried me because I didn't know a lot of the stuff that you know now, that I know now, that experience has taught us, right? And I remember it was in a really good area.
Okay.
In Hialeah.
Okay.
Okay.
In Hialeah,
And
of course.
And of course in Hialeah. And then the way that you taught me about it, it just went from making sense of, besides the area, why it was a good deal, what made it attractive, where was the opportunity. So yes, I do remember our first deal.
Do you remember what was it?
Yes, it was a house. It was a 3-1.
3-1?
Yes, it was a 3-1.
Okay.
It was
Yeah,
fenced. Because you mentioned it was fenced. It had little to no minor aesthetics repairs and things like that. You said it was it had a patio, it had a porch. You said it was good for a family, first time home buyer. You said it's good for a family that has pets. And then you said, and it has ample space in the back, so we could build an efficiency for another family.
So you do remember. Yes, indeed. As a matter of fact, that deal was our first investment deal, and we found it pretty much by accident because it was in the same block where my parents used to live at the time in Hialeah, in East Hialeah. And across the street, literally, within crossing the street, there was this couple that had lived there for many, many years. And guess what? They were getting divorced. So both of them were so excited about being out of each other's hair that my mother told me about it. And I said, wait a minute. This is a possibility of a real estate deal. So what did I do? What did I do? I literally crossed the street, knocked on the door, and asked to speak with them to see what is the situation, what's going on, what is that they wanted, etc., etc. And like that, we unfolded our first investment property. And yes, it was a single family home. So a couple of things here. It was they were distressed sellers. They needed to get out quickly. That means that gave us leverage on the pricing. Mm-hmm. They were willing to, and they did pay closing costs. Mm-hmm. So the market was perfect at the time, was great. And like Bianca mentioned, the house in the back had ample space. I think it was kind of more like a Florida room kind of style in the back, towards the back of the house, which when we purchased it, then later we converted that into a small apartment, and then that doubles our rental income. And interesting because back then, of course, now it's been 30 years, so I won't remember the numbers right, but I do remember the fact that whatever price we bought it, we purchased the home, we were able to cover all the expenses, closing costs, etc. And when they did the appraisal, I remember the appraisal came higher than what the actual price, so it worked out to our favor. And it was an investment loan back then. Some hard equity lender, and that's how actually, another point, that's how I got financed, through a hard equity lender that gave us a loan, because it was an investment property, not for us to live in. It was strictly to rent it out. But it really turns out that since the sellers were paying closing costs, the appraisal came in higher, we already had equity into it. And that resulted that when we went to the closing table, we walked out with a check to cash flow. And then some of that money we use to basically improve the property and do the apartments. So in about probably 45 days to 60 days, we already had somebody else in the back paying rent as well, and it was good for us. And we kept it for a few years until later on we exit that property. Now, when it comes to it, and for today's show, now let's fall into the next question. Do you remember what was our first investment property with new construction?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It was in Montura Ranch Estates, right? And then, I don't remember. Yes, we found someone who reached out to us that knew that we were going to start building homes over there. And he decided to sell us his lot because he was so far away, he didn't want to deal with it.
And see, and you said something very simple, but I'm going to dissect that a little bit to what Bianca just said. We found someone that knew that we were starting to build. That means we have not built before, so that means we did not have any land, we did not have any money, and we did not have any deal, and we did not have any buyer. We just had the idea of how to go about it, and that's how we started. Exactly. It was complete. We were complete beginners at that level of, let's say, going into new construction. So, and how did we find this person? Out of relationships, because we already buying and selling within, let's say, Miami area, buying, rehabbing, and selling homes, because someone that we met at that time, I believe we even refinanced somebody's property, and that person that knew about us, and then they found out that they had a lot, and guess what? We were able to get, the person had no interest into keeping that land anymore. It was 100 miles away from where they were in Miami, because when you look in the map, Miami versus Montura Ranch Estates, it's like completely different counties, and you're talking about 100 miles on a car driving. So for some people, we're like, okay, what am I gonna do with that piece of land? In their mind, they did not see an opportunity. In our eyes, we saw heaven. We saw a gold mine. And guess what? We made it work, because we were willing to drive the 100 miles, and we were willing to prove our concept. Basically, buy a piece of land and build a brand new home. And I even think I remember the address is still, I think it was like 480 Palomino Street, Montura Ranch Estate, or something like that. But I know it was like Palomino Street. Guess what? The seller, since they wanted out, they financed 100% to us for 120 days, like owner financing. At that time, we did a contract, we put a deposit down. I think it was probably $200, $300, $400, something like something completely like unheard of in a way.
Right,
unheard of at the time. However, that started a formula that it worked out later in all the many 200 plus lots that we bought actually through the time that we were investing in that area in Montura Ranch Estates. So what I'm talking about, somebody did not wanted it, we wanted it, we proposed an early exit. The owner financed the land, so that way we were able to take control of the land, and then we started promoting, and with that came a buyer that came from Miami. They wanted to buy a second property, second home, so they could go on the weekends and get away, and they did not need to qualify. It was easy entry. We had a contract, so guess what? Now we had a seller, but then we had another issue, and that was, how do we find the money then now to build a house? See, we did not have it, and we're sharing all of this because people ask, well, how do I start? How do we do the first deal?
I was just gonna say, that is a question of most of the beginners. So which one comes first, the egg or the chicken, right? And then we ourselves went through the process. So what comes first?
So
the land,
the egg or the chicken?
No,
the land,
the money, or the client.
You see? So sometimes it can happen in any way. There is not, and this is something, it doesn't have to be in any specific way, but order, but it will happen anyways, because all the pieces come together the moment that you do one thing and one thing only, and that is making the decision to take action to do what you're going to do. In that case, let's say maybe buy your first investment property, or let's say start a brand new construction project. And are you going to be afraid? Probably yes. Are you going to feel insecure? Probably yes. You're going to have questions that maybe you don't have the answers to all of them yet. Yes, but guess what? The sun comes out every single day. And as long as you make progress every single day, you get to a point to where you build your confidence, you build your momentum, you build everything that needs to happen in the right order of actions for you to go from imagination to manifestation. And it might take some time. This is not overnight. And
I must say, and I believe that what has really helped us go through the process of where we are right now is the fact that we educated ourselves. Even though we were beginners, you always made it a purpose to find out where is the market, what does the market hold, what can we build, what is the demand.
Correct.
And you seeked out for your lenders.
Exactly.
You know, so when we come to that question, so what comes first? The land?
The
money?
deal or the money.
Right. Then you taught me during that time, even in new construction, you had to analyze the deal.
Correct. And you do have to analyze the deals, but see, nothing is going to happen unless you do one thing and one thing first, and that is take action into the decision, into your commitment to say, hey, I am going to do this and I am going to follow through and I am going to get educated. Will you need to learn how to do it? Absolutely. How do you get educated? Well, watching shows like this, the ones that we are producing, connecting with people that are doing it right now, or they have done it and they do have the experience to be able to teach you. And by the way, not everyone that is into construction or investing in new construction is willing or wanting to spend their time and energy teaching somebody new what the steps are, because not everybody's the same. In this case, we like to do it, we are doing it, and we also are lined up or aligned to actually teach people how to build real estate, how to buy investment properties, how to hold the properties, how to exit the properties, because that's another part. You might have a property, you produce an asset, but until when is a good time for you to keep it, hold it, etc., refinance it, or what are your options? So that's part of the education. So we're willing to teach it because, like we have said before, with VMR Homes, our mission is to teach people how to own a lot of real estate. Not just your home. Your home is okay, but what about more homes and more homes and more homes and more real estate? Mm-hmm. And by the way, you don't have to only buy homes. You could buy or build warehouses. You can go into hospitality, like a small hotel, do, for example, like bed and breakfast. You can even buy on whole land and flip land. There's many variations within the real estate umbrella that are good options, good opportunities as an investment, and an investment that can give you cash flow, that it can give you asset, that it can give you leverage. So you're able, depending where you are, what your family life plans or real estate goals are, you can have enough real estate that real estate will be able to support you when you and I can no longer do what we are doing, like us talking and teaching and you guys learning and watching and then starting to look for new opportunities. Real estate can do that, and look through history. Every wealthy people will have real estate for the most part. So is real estate something that will stay forever?
100%.
100%. And I always have said that in the show. As long as there are humans on earth, there will always be real estate.
Everywhere you look at, there's real estate. I learned that from you.
Yeah. Whatever your eyes touch, it's real estate. The question is, how much of that do you own? How much of that you control? Are you driving today? Did you drove today? Did you met with someone for a business meeting or a coffee, even at Starbucks? Well, guess what? That's real estate. Mm-hmm. Did you went for breakfast at McDonald's? Guess what? That's real estate. Did you go to a hotel on vacation for the 4th of July? That's real estate. Question is, how much of that do you control? Do you have access to? Do you cash flow from? Even having cows on top piece of land, that's real estate.
Now, Miss Pino, I have a huge question to ask you.
How huge?
Huge. Huge. Now that we're speaking in regards to beginners and the real estate and the market and all that, right? And all the steps, what comes first, right? What would you say is the biggest mistake beginners make when we speak about real estate?
Biggest mistakes beginners make. One is not trusting themselves to make the decision to pursue something new that they haven't done before. That's number one mistake. Number two, because they're insecure, they might go ask somebody else that haven't done it what they think about the idea. And if you do that, you are doomed. That's it. 99% of the people will say, oh, you crazy, that's too risky, and they haven't done it. Go ask Grant Cardone. Come ask me.
Ask the experts.
Exactly. Go ask Warren Buffett, would you buy real estate? Anybody. Donald Trump, would you buy real estate? They would say absolutely. Because we understand that real estate has always been and there will always be. And there's always opportunities on real estate deals. Do you gotta find the right deals? Yes. It takes education? Yes. So mistake, not trusting yourself. Second, asking the wrong question. Third, lack of education. Just because you went to a 3-day seminar, it doesn't mean that you already know all what you need to know about investing in real estate. If you went to a 3-day seminar, again, 6 months later, it doesn't mean that you are, so you gotta pair a few things up. The education, the right mentor.
Right.
And I said the right mentor because I might be a good mentor for some people, but I might be too strong or will come across maybe too direct for some people, who are all the people, because of their personalities, the way they are, they need to be more nurturing. In that case, maybe those individuals will match up better with Vianca because she's easier, slower, more than, more like a teacher that will teach,
I hold your hands throughout, right.
So you have to pair yourself up with the right mentor that works for you, with the way you are, your personality type. Maybe you're an action person, maybe you need a lot of knowledge, and you need to be able to discern that. And for you to discern that who's the right mentor for you, just listen to people speak. Do you relate or not? If you don't relate, thank you. Find somebody else that you do relate in the way they communicate with you, the way they speak with you. Because the way that you relate, that means the way you receive the information from someone, is the way you're going to be open to pay attention, to believe what they're saying, to follow their advice. And I think that's key. And the other thing is, take action. You gotta take action. If you don't take action, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years are gonna pass by.
Right.
We see right now people, in their 30s, they're just wasting their time and, being at the bar and the happy hours and all that. Let me tell you something. 10 years pass quickly, 20 pass even faster. And 30 years, hey, those 30, they are today, in the next, they're gonna be 40 and 50. So the question is, in your own personal timeline, meaning your age today, if you fast forward 10 years, if you fast forward 20 years, if you fast forward 30 years, what is your real estate life going to look like for you, for your family, for the legacy that maybe you want to leave behind when you are no longer on earth? You gotta think about that. I stopped thinking about the 3-year plan and the 5-year plan long ago because I realized, let me think in decades. What happened the next 10 years, the next 10 years, the next 10 years? And I wanna share that with you because don't take your first real estate investment lightly. As a matter of fact, that is the most amazing experience that you will have, whether it's good or bad. Still, it's going to be an experience. And I said good or bad because we will say, if you make some money, you make it say like, okay, it was a good experience. And you kind of lose money on the deal, you will say it was a terrible experience. Still, it's an experience, and both will teach you incredible lessons. And those are things that you will never, never, ever, ever forget. One last thing. When you do a real estate deal, your first real estate deal, if it went fairly well and you make some money, that is great. if it didn't work out that way, you're gonna be like, it didn't work out. Guess what? Take it with and receive it with open arms, because those are the one that teach you the best, the biggest, the most profound lessons that are going to save you from you making those same mistakes in the deals coming after. And I always say one thing: the best way to fix a bad deal is to do another deal and make it right. Because real estate will always give you the opportunity that you can always make another deal, and then that deal pay 10 times for the money that you didn't make on this previous deal, on the past 10 deals. Because that's how real estate is. And if you're doing the right deals, you're analyzing the deals properly, and that comes with education, consistency, commitment, you're gonna be able to come out a winner. And that's what we want to inspire you to do. Do real estate, focus into doing your first deal. And if you have questions, you know we are available to consult. Feel free to reach out. And Vianca, what would you say to close this episode?
Remember, just like this resource is available to you for free, there's other videos just like this one in our channel, which is
Your Home Building Coach.
You'll be able to find more answers to some of your questions, but like Ms. Pino said, we're available. You reach out to us.
Exactly.
Her contact information is there. My contact information is there. We're here to help you out, whatever you need.
Exactly. And now that you say, where else can you reach us? We are on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on TikTok, we're on YouTube, and you can also find pretty much everything, the library, all the content, and additional great information that is going to be of tremendous value to you when it comes to education at viamarhomes.com. Like V like in Victor, like viamarhomes.com. Thank you for watching. I wish you guys an excellent rest of your day, and we'll see you in another episode of Casas and Cashflow Online.
Thank you, beautiful people. Have a great day.
And I'm closing the live broadcast.